Hey everyone, welcome to the I'll Be Living Life podcast. Today I have a special guest. She is an Instagrammer. Her handle name is West Coast Girl with underscores between each letter. She started Instagram about 2 years ago, just a little after I joined. We've been kind of following each other since. Her name is actually Steph. So welcome to the show, Steph.
Thanks, Albie. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, you're most welcome. It's kind of cool to hear your voice for a change.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about like how you started building and you hit 3,300 followers. So good on you for that. It's quite the task. Actually, you're 3,301 now. Oh. So you gain another follower as we're speaking here.
There you go.
But good for you. No, it's really hard to build these days. And, for me, when I look at your pictures, like for me, it's like you have very peaceful shots and calming shots. I don't know, maybe because I don't really see anybody around. But, is there any kind of tips or tricks that you do that, from your successes that you can share with everyone?
Well, I mean, for me, photography was never something that I even thought about. I never looked at things and thought this would be a great picture ever. And until I did. And for me, like all these moments, the hikes that I've been on and the trips that I've been on, there's so many capturable moments. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I thought, well, maybe I'll create an Instagram account, which it was my daughters that said, you should really post these images.
That's cool. She's got the eye for it too.
Yeah. And I actually didn't know how Instagram worked. 2 years ago. I didn't have any clue. And you were one of the first people that I followed. And so you're the person that I reached out to get some advice because you had, a good selection of photos up and enough information on your photos where I thought maybe this is someone that could guide me. And I also noticed that you lived, in the Lower Mainland, mm-hmm. which was nice because we live in the same area, so to speak. And so you're going to have a similar eye to just the wildlife and the trails and things like that. And so that's really how I started mm-hmm. my Instagram page.
Yeah, because I when I look at your photos, I'm like, oh yeah, no, she's capturing it like perfectly. Like I like a lot of these shots. Like I like a lot of your pictures.
Thank you.
And I think that's why you're kind of successful in when you're posting and people seeing a peaceful and a calming effect to looking at your photos. It's not that easy. I mean, I run out of pictures all the time. I don't know how you're doing.
Well, I mean, I definitely feel that there are moments where I have to sort of dig into the archives and find a photo. Yeah, there are definitely slow moments for sure. Yes.
Yeah. So did you always have it under West Coast Girl? Was your name always that? I forget.
No, originally it was Nature Pure Escape.
Oh yeah, right, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad you actually changed your name because
yes.
when you see it, like it draws attention to it for me, right? And right away I know it's you. So
right.
That's one of the tips that I had before was like, maybe make sure your handle name is something that you can remember mm-hmm. Or catchy. And then your profile pic is really nice too. It's a nice peaceful shot of you.
Thank you.
And it's something that you can kind of, when you see, it's from you, right?
Yeah.
For me, building on Instagram is all about engagement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the more you engage with your followers, the more you're going to get likes. It's as simple as that. It's a lot of work. And there's no other way around it, at least not that I can think of anyways.
Definitely. Definitely. If like you've got over 8,000 and I mean, I'm only a couple months behind you. Mm-hmm. And even with all of your guidance, the commitment that goes into building an account it's really a lot. And so
it is.
For me, I've had moments where I'm overwhelmed with the amount of feedback. And of course, I feel inclined to thank everyone.
Yes.
And it's important that you do because people have taken the time to not only hit the like button, but to actually comment on mm-hmm. your photo. And that's what I've learned a lot about my photography through those comments.
Yes.
That they liked the composition of it, or the lighting, or just the contrast of things. And then, there's always that opportunity to have a side DM chat about photography and how they would do it differently, or what their perspective is, or how did I come to, standing in that exact spot and capturing it right, and it's built my confidence with my shots, but it's also really taught me a lot about just the importance of really engaging with people.
Yeah,
and
100%.
and so definitely there's been moments for me where I just don't have the energy to engage with people, and so I tend to go very quiet. And so I am part of a couple of groups where I've just said, I need to take a break from this. I just need to tap out for a minute, and I'll see you guys in, hopefully a month, because it's so much work. And it's fine. I love talking to everybody. I really do. I've met some amazing people over this, because they're like-minded people, and I'm so grateful for that. I just love everybody that I've spoken to. Yeah,
it's pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, it's great. It's just a totally different community, and I've never had any negative experience. Nobody's ever spoken to me inappropriately. I haven't had anyone say anything negative about my pictures. And I mean, even if somebody did, we've got the control to delete that comment if we want to. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's great. It is a lot of work, for sure. There's no question about it.
You know what I hate is I hate those people trying to sell binary or whatever, those crypto things on my site.
Yeah.
And they put their advertising on a comment. I was like,
yes,
piece of crap.
I know. So I delete those. I just delete those. And that's fine. I mean, it's like when you see someone will just say, I don't know, like they'll say something really strange in your comments. It's not even, I mean, it's almost like selling themselves as opposed to whatever the product is, or maybe they're the product. And so I just delete those, But I mean, I feel the same way if someone follows me and if I look at their page and it's all graffiti art or it's all, I don't know, it's all trucks or just fishing, that kind of stuff. I don't feel like I probably don't have anything in common with that person. Like I wouldn't know how to engage with that person. Yeah, and so for me, I think if somebody follows me, and I do tend to go through my page and, just really take a look at my followers and see how, see what their pages are doing and see if I still have stuff in common with them and trying to build each other. And it's definitely a community of communication and supporting each other and building each other. And
yeah, if you don't promote each other, there's no point, right?
Absolutely.
And I see that on a lot of the things where, what annoys me is that somebody follows me, but, they haven't liked a single picture of mine.
Right.
So I look at now, because I'm so particular in who I follow, because once you get down to the 7,500 mark of following people, you can't follow anymore. So I like to keep my solid followers. So if somebody's like, I guess these ghost followers that come in and they hit, follow, hoping that you follow them back.
Right.
I always go on their site and I'm like, well, what's the point, right? There's a 0 point to it. But if you actually took the time to and that's one of my tips, is where you go to someone else's page. If you want them to follow you, you got to like their photos.
Yes.
And if you like their photos, you hit follow, you're hoping they follow you back. Now, if you don't like any of their photos, you're not giving any time to that person. So why should they give you time back?
Exactly.
So
exactly. Yeah.
But I feel that, something like you said, and out of all my interviews so far, that you're the first one to say that out of all the comments and all the messaging, you learn from that. And that's solid advice, because you're right. I get people saying, oh, I love the way you put it, like the camera down there, or I love the way you kind of captured different colors in that. And, and like you, we're not professionals. We're just learning. And, little advices here and there from people are, it's like, to me, it makes me grow. It helps me grow.
Yeah.
So no, you're absolutely bang on with that. So that's really good advice.
100%. And I mean, for me as well, if I put information about my photos, that's when there's like sort of this feeding frenzy of excitement. Like if I like one of my pictures, I think I just said finding pixies in the forest or something like that. And it was a pixie cap mushroom. And like everyone's just like, oh my gosh, I didn't know what those were called. They're so delicate. Oh, they're so amazing. Oh, I love that pixie cap. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cute. Yeah. And so everyone just gets so excited, and then it gets you excited about your picture, right?
Yes.
And then you get the comments of like, this is an amazing perspective, or I just love this little delicate mushroom in this big, strong forest. It just really shows vulnerability and stuff like that. And it's so, I love those comments. They're amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah.
I had talking about comments and engagement. I just posted up Scooby trying to balance Pringles on his head,
Yes.
right? Oh my God, I had 200 comments on that thing, and it
Yeah.
took me all day,
Yes.
all night to respond back. And I just when I thought I was getting close to the bottom of the pile,
There's
then
200 more.
there's more comments coming
Yeah.
in, and I'm like, oh, as much as I love it, it is a lot of work, and but it's cool if you see all the
It
comments and you
is.
read
And
it.
I mean, and Scooby's his own superstar, isn't he? So,
Yeah, the
although he
bozo.
does need to pick up his game. I did tell you he has to carry the glass of water now. So.
Oh, yeah, I actually tried that yesterday, but not a glass of water. I put a cup
Just
on
the
his
cup,
head,
just the
just
cup,
to see
yeah.
if he would walk with it, and
Oh,
he
my
just looked
word.
at me like,
Yeah.
oh, no, it's staying on my head,
That
and
is
that's
so
it.
funny.
I'm
Oh,
not
my
moving
goodness.
until, and I'm like, come on, come get this. Here's your milk bone. And he's like, nope, I'm gonna just stay here. I'm like, okay, forget it. I gave
If
him
you
milk
want
bone.
me to up my game, Dad, you got to up your game with the treats. I need bacon. You know?
Yeah, something. But every time he would move, like he wouldn't move until I said, come on, let's go, and he still
Yeah.
wouldn't try because
Yeah.
he's been taught like since he was 1 year old just to stay, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what I balance on his head. I can put like a whole tent on his head probably, and he'll stay
Yeah.
it. But he won't move unless I say, come on, and
Yeah.
and even then he's kind of questioning if he should be moving. So I'm like, oh, he's
That's
hilarious.
so funny.
Yeah,
That's
dogs
funny.
are cool. Yeah, so let's talk about, on my show. So what I like to talk about is I usually pick 3 of my favorite pictures of the guests that I have on because, I really, the reason why I have you on the show is because I like your photos and I think you deserve more followers. So let's start with the Juan de Fuca Provincial Park. You got sunbeams on there, and for your reference, it was on July 23rd. Fog and sunbeam, and I mean that picture is freaking amazing. So how did you feel that day?
When I saw that, so there's something about fog and sunshine that make these incredible beams of light. And I mean, I was asked by lots of people if this was photoshopped, but it isn't. I don't have Photoshop, so my pictures are just my pictures. I mean, I might, just in your own picture, you can edit and brighten, like just so
Yes.
it's just a little bit brighter, so it's not too dark. So I do that sometimes. But other than that, the picture's the picture. And when I saw this, it was like, I don't know, it felt like I was stepping into like an enchanted forest or something.
Yeah.
It was so profound for me, just with the trees and the light and the pathway there. And it was really beautiful.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? Like you could go on walks and then also, or hikes, like when I'm going with my buddies or whatever. When I do these hikes, sometimes I'm like, I put the brakes on, right? I go, it's like, I see something there. And it's like, I got to take that shot. Or sometimes when you think you saw something and then you actually take the picture of it and you're like, oh crap, it's kind of dull. So, delete,
Yes.
right? But there's times where you go and you take a picture and you're like, wow, that's just amazing. So, yeah, but that's a great shot.
Oh, thank you.
You have one right before that at the Botanical Beach. Again, like I said, even though there's like waves coming in and whatnot, I just feel that there's your pictures seem very peaceful. They seem very calming, and that's, to me, is what that picture signifies.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, again, it's that fog that there's something about fog that's it's like a cozy sweater or a cozy blanket for me. And so, being on the water is my happy place. Being out in nature is my happy place. So hearing the waves and the smell of the sea, and the seagulls are overhead, and that fog that's hitting the rocks like that, just that light. I mean, the fact that you feel that way means that I have shared my feelings with you, and you're mirroring how I felt in that moment when I saw it.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're trying to do with photos too, right? Where you want to get to a place and you're capturing something, and like I said in one of my podcasts before, where I say, when I see something and then somebody comments on something like, oh, I really like the way that sun was there, or I really like the way how that fog in the background. I'm like, you saw that. That's awesome, because that's exactly what I saw. But not everybody sees it, obviously,
that's
right?
Yeah.
But to hear those comments like, oh, that one friggin' leaf over in the thing there, just like I think you had a recent post of a yellow thing, right? A yellow tree, and and that's another thing, like little things like that where people notice, and that kind of highlights the picture for me too.
That's right.
Yeah. So your next one is your profile pic, and this was on May 2nd. You're at Garibaldi Lake, and again, peaceful, calming. You're barefooted. If that was me, I'd be in pain and probably fall right into the lake. So, but that's a great shot too.
Not bad. I don't even do yoga, so my friend who took the picture is a huge yogi, and she's like, "This is what I want you to do. This would be such a great picture." And I'm like, "Okay." But the water was just glass. It was amazing. And it took nothing for the ripples of my foot to go away and for this shot to be captured, which is amazing. And that was the summer where we had all the forest fires. So you can see there's a haze in the air, but the water was absolute glass. Yeah,
it looks very peaceful there. And again, that's, like I said, it's your pictures resonate peace and calm. So
nice.
And the last one that I want to talk about, instead of 3, I'm going to do 4, because this one's in my hood. So I got one of you finishing off the Coquitlam Crunch, and obviously it looks like it was posted on March 3rd. There's a bit of snow there, so I'm guessing it was pretty early in the morning, and there wasn't too many people hiking up and down, because the trail looks pretty empty that day. It looks like there's 2 people there. So that's a great shot too. I really like that shot too.
Thanks. It's actually the same friend that took that picture.
Oh yeah,
that did the shot.
She's got some skills.
Yeah. And that's also in her hood, and so that was my first time doing that, and I wanted to capture what I had just accomplished, because it actually is quite an accomplishment to do that thing.
That's funny, because I used to do that hike every day. So I did that 7 days a week, and that set of stairs was not there when I started. Or the other side, actually. There was just a gravel field, or dirt field, and so I would just walk up and down and do that. And then they put the first set of stairs in, and then now they got the second set of stairs. But I used to do those stairs up and down 4 times, and it'll take me about 25 minutes or something. Yeah. But now if you tell me to go there and do one set, I'd probably be dying. It's been a while since I've been there, just because I know it's been quite busy there. It is a great hike, a great local hike for that. You can go from the bottom all the way to the top and back in less than like 50 minutes or 45 minutes.
Seriously, if you don't want to go to the gym, like, not to like make it even busier, but if you don't want to go to the gym, but you loved doing the Stairmaster or something like that at the gym, and you just want to be in the fresh air, the Coquitlam Crunch is what you should do. Like 100%. I promote this as a good Stairmaster outdoor experience. So it's like, I enjoy this more than I enjoy the Grouse Grind. Just because for me, like, the Grouse Grind, it's always so busy there. Yeah, it just depends on when you go. When you get to know the Grouse Grind and the flow of traffic there. Because I used to do the Grouse Grind every day. That's pretty good. And I mean, when I went, there was hardly anybody there. Every time I went, I was like, oh man, this is not for me. Like, I like it. I like that, the fact that, I don't want to follow someone, and I don't want someone following me. So like, for me, I really love the Sea to Summit hike. Same. That's probably my most favorite. I agree. And it's just because you get past the Chief turnoff there, like after you start veering off onto the Sea to Summit one, there's a lot fewer people around, and people don't realize that it's there. It's still really new. Unfortunately, the cables were cut again. Second time. It's just so unfortunate, because it really is lovely to take that ride down. But the Sea to Summit, if you're advanced enough in your hiking skills, there's so many different terrains, like where it's flat or it's windy. That's right. There's some rock, and there's some dirt and root, and then there's some cable work and granite.
some
rock
viewpoints.
face, and there's viewpoints. Yeah, it's amazing. There's so many incredible photo opportunities, and
and
I mean, obviously, Squamish Valley is
gorgeous,
spectacular. Yeah,
that's
so
right.
You're never going to get a bad shot. So.
And then when you get up there, you get the suspension bridge, and then there's you can go get a pitcher of beer and cider, right? And there's actually hot dogs and salads and burgers.
Really good food up there, actually.
Yeah, they're actually really
puppy,
good.
It's really good food. Yeah. It's actually very much a bucket list hike, or just take the gondola if they're ever going to fix it again. I can't imagine. But yeah, if that ever comes around again, that's definitely a must do.
Yeah, I think they will fix it. It's I've done that hike. I think I've done that hike about 12 times now.
Wow.
And the funny thing is, it never fails. Like the one time I did it with my hockey buddies, I made it up there in 2 hours and 15 minutes. But every other time, that no matter who I brought with me and the pace that we're going, as fast as we go, as slow as we go, we get up there at literally 2 hours and 30 minutes, right on the dot.
Wow.
Yeah, give or take 1 or 2 minutes either direction, and it's pretty funny. Yeah, because I figure, you're going to pick it up a little bit, but I know when I went with my hockey buddies, they were kind of pushing the pace a little bit harder that day. So
it's tough, right? Because there's so many viewpoints, and I've got a thing that if I hike and there's any water, I go in the water.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah. Sounds like Scooby.
So it is a little bit, yeah. So like doing the Shannon Falls or anything like that. I mean, you'll see me, take my kid off and then I'm in the water. Like that's just a thing for me. And, Garibaldi Lake, of course, both of us, like we were in the water immediately after that picture was taken. We took all of our stuff off and jumped in, and, someone was passing by and grabbed my phone and snapped a shot of us. And
that's cool.
So it's just, I don't know, anything in that area is definitely, if you like a good range in your hike, that's it. Like the Garibaldi hike for me was probably one of the most boring switchback hikes of my life. It was so boring. But the reward when you get to the top is incredible. And that's probably just the route that I took. I'm sure there's many different ways that you can get up to Garibaldi.
That's kind of like the Hunter's Trail that I recently did this year over in Mission. It was definitely one of the most boringest hike for me too. But you're going up a logging road, and I mean, that's all you're doing, right? But at the top of it, it's just like endless mountain range, right? So it's like, it's gorgeous. And I was like, I don't, as much as the hike was kind of dull, at the end the reword there was just amazing. And
because I'm someone who who I just want to hear nature, smell it, be in it, and become part of it. And so if people are smoking when we're hiking, or
that's ridiculous,
or lots of people who have their little music boxes going while
I
they're
don't
hiking,
like that either.
I just don't get it. Like, what's the escape? And so when you get a really boring hike, like a logger's road or a big switchback with no view, it's
that's kind of dull.
You got to dig deep, like to really become one with nature. You're kind of like, why?
You should try. I don't know if you ever done this hike before. It's called the Crooked Falls Seaguard Trail in Squamish.
Okay.
Wow, it's
nice.
That one, the hike, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Sea to Summit.
Okay.
But at the end, I have if you look on my page, it's near a couple years ago. I went on it, and the falls actually, you go right behind the falls when you get up to the top.
Oh, I think I've seen pictures of that.
And it's amazing. The only thing is, when I was going up there with my buddy, it was just the two of us, and there was grizzly bear warnings.
Okay.
And we're like, oh no, that's one thing I do not want to bump into, that and a cougar. So those are the two things, right? And at that time, I was playing a little bit of my music just to make sure there's noise going on, right? And that's the only time I would be playing my music. But definitely something for you to do if you've never done that trip.
Great. Thank you for the suggestion.
So with your photos, like, I mean, there's one thing that I noticed that you do really well that I don't do, and that's you give thanks to everyone. If they like your page and there's like several likes on your photo from one person, you usually post up a thank you or, you know, something along those lines. That's something I don't do because I think once you get to those higher numbers, it's really hard to keep engaging, and you do your best. Like for me, I comment, if somebody's commenting on my photo, you're definitely going to get a thank you or something. I just don't hit like to say, you know, thanks for liking my photo. I actually say something. And then you see the repeat offenders that come in and give you, like, you know, the likes and the comments all the time, right? That's something that I notice you do really well, and that's kudos for you for doing that too.
Yeah, I started doing that early on. That was actually the suggestion of one of my daughters. And yes, it can be very, very tiring doing that. And yes, it can get tiring to the point where what I'll do is, instead of, you know, screenshotting all of the likes and then, you know, putting it to my story and adding the thank you and adding their tag and what have you, I'll just choose one of their photos and then put it up on my story and just say beautiful gallery.
Yeah.
Right? Or thanks for all the likes or whatever.
Yeah.
But then what I found is that once you hit a certain marker, so I would probably say around the 2,000 mark for followers, people were like, please promote my page, please highlight my page on your story, please. Like people were, and so for a little while there I had, you know, please don't reach out to me to promote you, you know, because I'm just a person like everybody else. This is not a job for me. This was an escape for me. And I do love my photos. I'm very attached to each moment. And the people who I speak with all the time have a very similar mindset. And so people who just want, I guess maybe just to build their page or something like that, I'm just not interested in that. So if I'm moved by someone's pictures, I'm going to highlight them. And sometimes I'll highlight someone's images like more than once in a week because I'm so in awe of
their skills and all that.
Like I'm so impressed. It's just absolute photography goals for me when I look at their pictures, and they're just regular people. Yeah. And that blows my mind. They're not, you know, people who do this for a living. They're not, you know, professional photographers that are out doing stuff. They're just, and they might only have 250 followers, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So really, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have 20 followers or 20,000 followers, because the 20,000 followers, I've followed people like that, and I've talked to people like that, and they get back to me within 5 minutes of me commenting. So honestly, it doesn't matter. You never need to think, oh, I only have like 150 followers. Like I'm never going to get to, you know, that level. Like, honestly, just do it for the love of your photography, and remember to communicate with people. Remember to be thankful for people taking the time to reach out to you. And just love your photos and promote yourself in a way that feels right for you, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. All of it. Yeah, it's not an easy game. I mean, I don't know what's your vision? Like, what are you trying to get out of this? Are you just doing it for the sake of as a hobby? Are you hoping that maybe one day you can get some marketing stuff going on? Is there an end goal that you're trying to reach?
You know what? I don't really feel like that there's an end game for me of hopefully getting some financial gain or some swag. You know, I have had people ask if they give me a discount on their products and they want me to buy it with that discount and then promote them, you know, wearing an item and stuff like that. And so I'm just now starting to go into that chapter of my Instagram. And for me personally, I just feel like that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of
work. So for me, I'm hesitant because in theory it sounds great. Like, sure, I'll buy your backpack and I'll post a picture of me wearing it, like, you know, the way I did on the Coquitlam Crunch, standing there with their backpack on my back and promote them. But I just, that seems like a next level
Well,
this isn't a full-time job for me. I have a full-time job, so
that's right.
yeah.
But soon enough, you're probably going to get some free offers and stuff like
Yeah.
that too. Yeah, I think that's kind of the level there as when you're kind of at that teeter point where they're going to start reaching out. And
that's right.
Yeah, but slowly and surely. But you don't have to accept all of them. I haven't. It's just, like you said, I'm just kind of doing it for the love of the photo. You and I both know you can only take so many pictures of the Lionsgate Bridge and so
That's
many
right.
pictures of Stanley Park.
Yeah.
And so many pictures of the science world and all that stuff because we're locals, right? And but it's just how we interpret the photo and how we adjust our our phones or our cameras to capture what we're seeing. And that's what makes it different. And that's what I like seeing from other people as well. So
Yeah.
well, that was it. No, it's great having you on the show. It was a great chat and great advice that you're giving to our followers and whatnot. And I appreciate you coming on the show, and I'd love to have you back again sometime. And I hope
thanks so much, Albie. I really appreciate it.
And I hope you
reaching
had
out.
fun.
Yes, lots of fun. Thank you. Good luck, everybody.
You're very welcome. Yeah. So if you liked the show, please subscribe or hit the like button. And that's it for now. We'll catch you next week. Thanks.